Check. Hello there. Kevin Hashem. Hey, Gleva. Well, welcome in, Falch Oda Pukawasha Nagalik. Welcome to the Gaelic College. You're right where you should be. We're here in St. Anne's for a special Ceilidh back in Mackenzie Hall. For those that have been following along, we've been in our museum, Hall of the Clans, over the summer. So we're back where we normally have our Ceilidhs. We're also streaming online again for this special Ceilidh, which is something that we do here. If anyone is wanting to tune in when they're back home, you can follow our Gaelic College Facebook page, and that's where we stream them live or put them on YouTube the next day. And settle in and get ready for a nice Ceilidh. My name is Marley. I work here on staff here at the Gaelic College, but I'm also a proud member of the Treasures of Youth committee, which this is a special Ceilidh in coordination with the Treasures of Youth. We've got two other members of our committee over there, and David McLean and Stephanie McDonald, that are here tonight as well. And tonight's Ceilidh is made up of all scholarship winners, young people that are working on their traditional music or song or dance or language, and all from within the province. And so we've got a nice little roster of young up-and-comers that are going to perform tonight, which is also a big part of what is important in the culture, is getting a chance to perform what we're working on for others to hear and give support. We love that you're here in great numbers to show support for these young ones, and online as well. So make sure you cheer them on for their endeavors. We might have a few that are maybe first time on this stage anyway, and some that are getting used to the stage. So we love that you'll be a good supportive bunch. For those that are visiting, anyone visiting like first time to this part of the world? Yeah? Wow. Okay. Well, thank you for it's hard to find sometimes this place. So we're thankful that you're here. You're in for a special night of culture in our young people. Okay, and just housekeeping wise, Barbie is at the back. The bar is open for this youth Ceilidh, and other refreshments are there. And if anyone missed paying admission coming in, Barbie can handle that back there for you there too. And then washrooms are just through that door and around the side. So make yourself at home, get up whenever you need to. It's pretty casual. That's what a Ceilidh is. It's a visit, in other words. And we're here to visit and get to know each other. So I think we'll start off with one of our first recipients. I'll tell you more about the scholarship as we go, but we'll get into some music. And I'm looking for Ella Jo McNeil to come on up. Ella Jo, are you here? Come on up. I'm going to just ask you a little question or two. So Ella Jo is one of the recipients this year. Can you tell us how much your scholarship was?
It was $1,000.
$1,000 that you won this year. Isn't that nice? That is the most that is allotted at one increment. And tell us, how old are you?
I'm 15.
15?
Yeah.
You're 15, and where are you from?
Halifax.
From Halifax. And what do you intend to do with the funds? What's your plan for that?
I mainly used it to come here this summer for camp.
Yes. She is a regular student here at the Gaelic College. And how many years have you been playing the fiddle?
I think 10.
10 years?
This might be my 10th.
Right. Fiddle for a few years? Right on. Do you take any lessons outside of here?
Yeah, I do. I take a few lessons from Wendy McIsaac.
Wendy McIsaac in Halifax. Well, lucky duck. That's great. We're thrilled that you made the trek down. Did you come down special for this?
Yes, I did.
Oh my gosh. Ella Jo, that means the world. Well, let's make her feel welcome. We're going to settle her in for some tunes. that close enough, do you think? Is that in your way? Okay. All right. We're also going to be joined by another staff member here, Malcolm McNeil on guitar. Start whenever you're ready. Joe, that was great. Those are great tunes and great delivery and really even lovely playing. Really great job. What a way to kick it off. Thanks so much. Okay, well, we'll move right along. We've got a young fella in the name of Leo Lefort. way from Sydney, and he's going to come up and play a tune or two. Can I ask you a question? Yeah. And I think you were here last year, that we might already be introduced to some folks online. So, where are you from?
From Sydney.
Right in Sydney, and how old are you?
13.
Okay, so you're 13, and how many years are you playing the fiddle now?
8, 9 years.
Wow, okay. And do you have like one main teacher?
Yeah, boy McNeil.
Boyd McNeil, lucky duck again. And do you like it? Do you like the fiddle?
Yeah, I really like it. I really like it.
You're sticking with it, that's great. So we'll get you to play a few tunes for us.
Okay.
Okay, so let's make him feel nice at home here. Hey, little boy. Leo Lefort. Great reels. Driving around the reels. Classics too. That's so great. Thanks for being here. We're going to have Ruby Burton getting ready in the wings while I mentioned just a little bit about this fund. So it's the Treasures of Youth, which is a scholarship endowment fund that was created in 2010 at the Highland Village Museum in Iona. In part with the Highland Village, I should say, but it was the idea of Vince McLean, one Vince McLean, that had CD, the sale of CDs of his father's album, Good Boy M.A., Michael Anthony McLean's album, his father, that he wondered what to do with and how to put this into the next generation, and he started this little committee, and which would have then started the fund that has amassed enough to be at the level that it is now, which in total, since 2011, when the first one would have been distributed, has awarded $31,250 to kids from all over the province. Yeah. So that endowment fund is ongoing. You're still able to contribute to that, which then the proceeds go every year. And so this year alone, we had $5,250 awarded, and the amounts went to Janangis Mure, who we're going to hear from in a little bit. He won $1,000. Ruby Burton, who's coming up next, who won $1,000. Ella Jo McNeil, who we heard from there, $1,000, as well as Ava McNeil, who won $750. Sarah Arsenault, who won $750, and Veda Heavener, who won $750. So they're all so deserving. They apply for it. If anyone is interested in applying, that would come up again next spring. So you can check out treasuresofyouth.ca for information and how to donate if ever you're so inclined. So Miss Ruby, are you ready to come up on stage? Come on up. Ruby, we're going to get introduced to Ruby. Ruby, this would be your first time at this concert, but you've been here to the Gaelic College before, have you?
Yes.
Yes. And how old are you?
7.
7. And where are you from?
Whitney Pier.
Whitney Pier. So can you tell us a little bit about how you got introduced to the song tradition, maybe?
So I went to a Gaelic workshop in the Pier, and I did, and I really liked it, and then I got introduced to all this Gaelic.
You did. And that was that kind of recently?
Yes,
Like maybe, was it this year or last year maybe?
this year.
This year. And now you're up here singing, and you sang at Highland Village Day in Iona, and you did great. And you came to the Gaelic College, and now you're on your way, and you're going to have some money to help you keep learning, right?
Yeah.
So you're going to do 2 things for us tonight. What are you going to do tonight?
I'm going to sing, and I'm going to play the piano.
Okay, what do you want to do first?
Play the piano.
Okay, there we go. We got our orders. We're going to play the piano. And who's going to join you on stage?
My dad and our friend.
So her dad is Taylor Burton, who just was here attending as an adult student just last week, which is really cool. It's very few people that we have a youth here for a youth session and then an adult here for an adult session in the same clan. And then your friend that you mentioned is young Joe McMaster, who's going to play something for you to chord to. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay, so we're all situated, so we're going to get ready for that. Welcome, Ruby Burton. There you go. There you go.
I should give you an intro first, sorry.
That song was Walking the Floor is Jake, which I learned from my teacher, Leanne O'Coin. My name is Ruby, and next I'd like to sing Yerrick Me Mokmatan Haichin, taught to me by Robin Kerrigan, about a beautiful May morning. Sing along if you know it. Yerrick me Mokmatan Haichin Falilyo, Ilyo, Yoravos Maharo Ela Falilyo, Ilyo, Movakin Ju, Omakin Jay, Falilyo, Ilyo, Yoravos Maharo Ela Falilyo, Ilyo, Spinyo Hoishirai me a struck Falilyo, Ilyo, Yoravos Maharo Ela Falilyo, Ilyo, Smjorihen Arfanen Gagan Falilyo, Ilyo, Yoravos Maharo Ela Falilyo, Ilyo, Ushaken Skjon and Slave Falilyo, Ilyo, Yoravos Maharo Ela Falilyo, Ilyo, Spoicha Ias Agrina Geri Falilyo, Ilyo, Yoravos Maharo Ela Falilyo, Ilyo, Matin Hun Fogruignes Beren Falilyo, Ilyo, Yoravos Maharo Ela Falilyo, Ilyo, Brickia Linja Kinna Limbrick Falilyo, Ilyo, Yoravos Maharo Ela Falilyo, Ilyo, Croarara Kinna Gambrick Falilyo, Ilyo, Yoravos Maharo Ela Falilyo.
How sweet was that? Way to go, Ruby. Good, clear voice. She's a promising up-and-comer for sure. Wonderful stuff. Okay, we've got another young up-and-comer up next. Janangis, are you ready? You feel ready? Okay, we're going to have Janangis Mure join us on stage for a few fiddle tunes. And we might ask Malcolm to come back up. I didn't get to properly announce, but Malcolm McNeil is the guitar player on stage tonight, who is young enough. You're looking old tonight for the first time. But another great young tradition bearer in among these other ones here. And this is young Janangis. Janangis, can I ask you a few questions?
Yep.
So this would be your first time at the Treasures of Youth concert, but you were here just on the weekend, weren't you?
Yes.
Where were you playing this weekend?
I was playing down at the big stage.
Yes.
And I was playing here at the square dance.
What was that for?
It was for the
What's that called?
Cape Breton
Fiddlers?
Yeah, association.
Yeah. Are you part of the Cape Breton Fiddlers Association?
Yes.
That's the best. And so how old are you?
9.
You're 9. And where are you from?
I'm from Sydney Forks.
Sydney Forks. And how long have you been playing?
5 years.
5 years. And do you have a main teacher?
Yes, Sean McDonald.
Sean McDonald. Lucky. And you were here this summer for the first time, weren't you?
Yeah.
And did you bring someone with you?
Yep.
Yes. Who'd you bring with you?
My grandfather.
Yes. So Grandpa was here as a house dad.
Yeah.
And so he had to take care of Janangis, but then the whole boys' dorm, making sure everybody went to bed on time and got up. It's a big job. And then you have a whole table here tonight too, don't you?
Yeah.
Lots of support. So what do you want to play for us?
I'm playing a set of jigs.
Great. Do you feel like some jigs? Yeah. Let's hear it for Janangis. Janangis. Isn't he tough? And aren't they all so cool? No problem, you know? Just hop up, answer questions, whatever you gotta do. It's great. Keep up the good work. My goodness. Right on, okay. So we've got another fiddler in the wings. Hopefully ready to come up. Amelia, do you feel ready for some tunes? Amelia Parker is going to join us on stage, and we'll get to get introduced to her. Amelia would have won a few years ago, actually, and is a up-and-comer in her own right, doing amazing things. Can I ask you a few questions? Yeah. So, what year, do you remember what year that you would have won the Treasures of Youth?
I think it was 2023.
2023. And so tell us a bit about yourself. How old are you, if I can ask?
I'm 19.
19. And you're from?
Pictou, Nova Scotia.
Pictou. And you came down for this? Were you on your way? You came down for this. Well, we so appreciate it. There's been, for anyone in the know, there's been that much construction and road closures and obstacles, so we really appreciate it in addition to the long drive. So tell us a bit about maybe what you would have done with the funds and what you've been doing since.
Yeah, I used the funds to take some lessons from a Scottish fiddle player in the US named Sean Healy, and he gave me a few online lessons and taught me a few new tunes.
And then what does your music career look like at this stage? What are you up to?
Playing lots of gigs, competitions kind of around Canada, and going to school for music. So.
Great. Where do you go to school?
Dalhousie.
Dalhousie. Wow. Here we go. So Amelia Parker, keep on the lookout for her. We're going to hear some tunes. Feel free to say it, whatever.
I'm going to do a set that I learned from a teacher that I had a few years ago named Anthony Rosisco. And it's called the My Lily set, and it's going to go through a slow air called My Lily, and then a little march called The Sweetness of Mary, and then to a reel called Huge Impulse.
young age. So Amelia Parker, check her out, from Pictou. We're so thrilled that she made the trek down. A lot of people coming for a far hike, so thank you so much. Right on. Okay, we're rolling right along. We're gonna have up a couple of siblings. Are Philip and Marley ready to take the stage? Philip and Marley White. If anyone has tuned into these Ceilidhs, I think these two are some of our most regular Ceilidhers, and some of our regular college students as well. Philip, tell us about yourself. How old are you now?
I am 21.
21.
Yep.
And you come from?
I come from Bearshwa Harbour.
Bearshwa Harbour.
Mm-hmm.
And then your sister Marley is how old?
She is 16.
16.
This last week.
Just last week.
Mm-hmm.
And you both are working these days at the Highland Village.
At the Highland Village.
What do you do there? What's your summer job look like?
Well, we're costumed animators, so we're in costume, acting as if we're one of the Gaelic settlers living in the 1900s, and it differs from day to day what people we're representing, but yeah, we tell the story of the Gaelic settlers that came to Nova Scotia.
Incredible. So you're well invested in your culture and your people, and you're gonna sing something for us tonight.
Maybe.
Okay, I'll leave it up to the White. So this is Philip White up here. Go for it.
Yes. So I know what it looks like, but I assure you, when I received the Treasures of Youth Award, I was, in fact, a youth. Geez, you see, I mean, some of the performers that we have here tonight, I mean, really, you see 7-year-olds getting up here and just giving her on the fiddle and the piano, and geez, I'm coming up here and so I'm 21 years old. I'm an old man. It's like she was saying about Malcolm earlier, I feel old. Anyways, but you know, I knew I'd be a bit nervous following some of the torrential talents that we have tonight. So I brought my sister with me, who's much more talented than I am. So you know, thank you, Marley. You bring me a bit of comfort up here. No, so I'm gonna do a song. It's one of my favorite Gaelic songs. It's called An Taltan Du. And it's a song about how it's been a horrible rainstorm, and the river is flooded, and it's flooded over the bridge as such that we cannot cross the bridge. But it's an extremely cheerful song. It's very upbeat, and I guess I didn't understand it, but you know, I do now. After some of the weather that we've been getting recently, and it just like, you know, a torrential downpour. What a lovely thought, you know. Anyways. An gin an juice an altan dus na haran mi go hage she hare go haran Bietan du sna haimi jumenu san tatan du ho bacharak san dulen jir no gahimi the hudani the hastani the bakar stich ma fuer an gin and juice an altan du sna haran mi go hage she hare go haran Bietan du sna haimi jumenu Himi net I krach grans en walken faren bafischkein Sen chikud moor en damen can be good ganse hootes en gin en juice en alten dus na haren mi go hagish hare go horan nak beten du sna haimi jumenu Sura heinu yaui en be a kwanse jantenes en yeshin faren Toten shop and Callum Ferry and Tuara and gin and juice and altan dus na haran mi go hagish hare go horan nak beten du sna haimi jumenu Taten du ho bacherak, sundulin jir no gahi mi da hudani, da hashtani, the backers cheek, ma puer, and jean and juice and alten du, snahaden ni go hagish, share hadek o water. Bietem ju, snahai mi juvenue, and jean and juice and nothing do, snahaden mi go hagish, hadek o water, not bietem ju, snahai mi juvenue. Yeah, well, oh, tablet. I dragged you all this way, Marley. Can we get a song, maybe?
I'm going to do one called Buna Horka, which it's a Gaelic tune. It translates to Harvest the Oats. So I'm going to give that one a go. Guns me Buna Horka, he me bane is so good. Oros na horadio. Iri oro la oros na horadio. Hear me bane is so good, he me mo going to slick me off now. Oros na horadio. Iri oro la oros na horadio. He me mo going to slick me off now. He me we're a gorsha. Oros na horadio. Iri oro la oros na horadio. We me we're a garshan niachan faking fair the whole dish oros na horadio. Iri oro la oros na horadio. Niachan faking fair the whole dish fair whole dines ningru and olsta oros na horadio. Iri oro la oros na horadio. Fair dines ningru and all shahul and cannabis and culis oros na horadio. Iri oro la oros na horadio. Wool and hick cannabis and culis paramo go leave a woman linen oros na horadio. Iri oro la oros na horadio. Iri oro la oros na horadio.
I tell you, another reason I love taking my sister with me whenever I can is I cannot step dance, unfortunately, I'm sorry to say, but she can. She can. And she came prepared, she's got her clickers on. So we're going to do a little demonstration of Porshchabil, or mouth music, which is something you would do, if someone wants to step dance. It's a song you'd sing in the absence of instruments, fiddles. Come grupa gassavam kum hanakuri, 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 kum hanatornam kum hanakuri, kum hanatornam kum hanakuri, kum hanatornam kum hanakuri, kum hanatornam kum hanakuri. Come grupa gassavam kum hanakuri, 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 kum hanatornam kum hanakuri, kum hanatornam kum hanakuri, kum hanatornam kum hanakuri, kum hanatornam kum hanakuri. And you kick a fröga some moon, you and you kick a fröga some moon, you are out. You kick a fröga some moon, you and you kick a fröga some moon, you are out. You are hard enough, you are hard enough, you are hard enough, show accounts. You are hard enough, you are hard enough, you are hard enough, show accounts. Again, you kick a fröga some moon, you and you kick a fröga some moon, you are out. You kick a fröga some moon, you and you kick a fröga some moon, you are out. You are hard enough, you are hard enough, you
Moonduat had a mistress, Joe Gans. Moonduat had a now, Moonduat had a Moonduat had a mistress, Joe Gans.
Let's hear it for Philip and Marley White. Wonderful stuff, my gosh. I'm hoping that people that are in the audience or watching online are planning to book these people for more concerts, getting them out and about. It's a big part of the next phase is how to keep this going and keep playing and keep performing. It's great. Okay, we've got another fiddler ready to come up. He's on his way. That's Luke Budro coming up here. He's going to join us. And Luke has been part of this concert before. Luke, tell us how old you are and where you're from.
I'm 16 and I'm from Port Hastings.
From Port Hastings.
So,
and how many years have you been playing?
I think I'm going on my 10th year.
Is it?
Yeah, I think 10
Started
now.
when you were 6, wow.
Yeah.
And you also, what other instruments do you play?
Also piano.
Also
so,
piano. And you play, do you have a few pals that you play a lot with?
Yeah.
What are their names? Who do you play with?
Jordy and Kyle. Jordy Martin and Kyle LeBay count, so.
Yeah, there's a great little crew that are often playing, and they're into the old style of playing and the old tunes and getting together just for the fun of it, and it's really inspiring, and they're just young lads. So you're going to play a little bit for us tonight?
Yeah.
Do you want to tell us what you're going to play? Do you have something in mind?
Tunes that I learned here at the Gaelic College, but I'm not sure the names of them.
Great, we'll take it. We might get Malcolm up for you with you too if he's around, and we'll hear it for Luke Budro. Budro from Hastings. Wow. What do you think of all these young, talented performers? What a night, eh? We're so proud. We're so fortunate that they said yes to performing. That's over and above what the scholarship is for. The scholarship is for your learning, but they said yes to coming and being part of this variety show. So we're really thankful that we said yes and came all this way. And actually, we might have one more fella here. Is Ben around? There's Ben. We might get Ben up for a quick number, and then anyone of the youth that are up for maybe just a few tunes together. If you want to gather over here, maybe we'll just sort out a little few tunes for a finale. If anyone at all, if you were playing or singing or anything, we'll hop up on stage for a little finale while we have Ben play. But a big thank you to all of the kids that said yes again. And this big kid here is Ben. Ben Smith is on staff here at the college, but he's also a young performer. He has been here all summer working with our summer programming, so has come to know, like Malcolm, some of the youth that are on stage tonight. And we're going to hear a few tunes from Ben before we wrap it up, so we'll get him all settled and hear a few from him. Yeah. If you like, sure. Say hello.
Alright. Hi everyone. That was so cool and so nice. Well, a lot of talent. Yeah, way to go everyone. I'm just going to play a little group of tunes here. I'll start off with some Jerry Holland classics, My Cape Breton Home, and I'll go into a quarter moon to start off with a slow one, and then I'll pick it up and play some more tunes. So yeah, thanks for coming out tonight. And it's been a blast this summer to get to work with Margie and Malcolm. Not only are they wonderful musicians, they're great people, and we had a blast this summer. So, and thanks to everyone, all the kids that were here this summer too, and the adults. There's a few of them here tonight. But all right, I'll get into it. But thanks.
still. More young ones. Doing such great things. Oh my gosh. Okay, so that just about brings us to our time. We're going to see if anyone's up for a little finale. We'd love you to come up just to play a couple tunes together. And in the meantime, I'll tell the rest. Our plan for our Wednesday night Ceilidhs, for those watching online or intending to come back, we'll keep running these in person. We're in Mackenzie for now. Outside of summer, we're in the other hall, but we're back in Mackenzie Hall. We'll have music here again next Wednesday, 7:30 to 9. We're actually going to not stream those. We're going to record those to be released at a later date, and we'll be back to live streaming on October 1st. So just another about a month off the air, if you will, and then we'll see those later in the season. If anyone's so inclined, come on back. We meet up again next Wednesday, 7:30 to 9, and feel free to follow our page, the college's page, but also Treasures of Youth has a Facebook presence, and our website is treasuresofyouth.ca. You'll find out the full info and ways to support it if you're so inclined, because now you see where your support goes. It's going right into the hands of these young ones that are our future. You're our future, Ruby. All right, and Ruby's sister's up here too. Right on. Okay.
I'm going to start with a Gaelic song.
Okay, perfect.
Yep. So these guys are going to be the leaders, and these guys are going to back up.
Wonderful.
And then
We are honored to be Ruby's backup.
and then we're going to do Father Janangis March and Jenny Dingle Weaver.
What a great finale. Okay. You got your fiddle too, set? Okay. And up here as well, this is Stephanie McDonald, our other member of the Treasures of Youth Committee, who's been supportive all this time as well.
I can, sure. Alright, maybe take a step over. I feel like you guys are a little bit squishy there.
Whenever you're ready. You're ready.
Will you, so will you, how do with me, cattle, will you, so sound and mountain voice, Donny gorge, take me, the Akavala, will you, so will you, how do with me, cattle, will you, so far and beer, and frolic and sundogs, fear, and rush, good all a happy so will you, how do with me, cattle, will you, so Ilyana hatchily noise, yeah, be a tangle ounce of atin, will you, so will you, how do with me, cattle, will you, so Miss Shower, Jerry Crown, she should tear and scrounge from Flatchy, will you, so will you, how do with me, cattle, will you, so Nora H. me Brian, Heinig B. Mohoin, alright, ya happen, will you, so will you, how do with me, cattle, will you, so